7 common masturbation mistakes in later life, and how to reclaim vitality, health, and pleasure. Have you ever wondered, why does something that once brought you comfort now feel urgent, distant, or even irritating? As men cross the threshold of 60, their bodies and minds begin to change in subtle yet profound ways. Things that were once familiar in their 30s or 40s, daily habits, personal emotions, suddenly no longer carry the same sense of ease they once did. Among these shifts is a deeply private yet rarely discussed topic: masturbation in old age. A subject once deemed sensitive or even avoided altogether now deserves a more mature, compassionate perspective, because it's not just a physical act, but a vital part of caring for one's physical, mental, and emotional health. Many older men feel confused, sometimes disappointed, when masturbation, once a source of relief and pleasure, now leaves them tired, empty, or disconnected from their own bodies. The reason isn't simply age. It's that they unconsciously carry old habits, outdated mindsets, and misconceptions about sexuality into an entirely new phase of life. What worked in youth may no longer fit or might even harm when the body and emotions have evolved. The truth is, masturbation in old age isn't just normal. It can be essential. When approached mindfully and in tune with the current state of the body, it can improve prostate health, balance hormones, aid sleep, reduce stress, and, above all, maintain a positive connection with oneself. But this only happens when we let go of obsolete habits and view this act with respect and openness. Sadly, there are 7 silent mistakes that many men over 60 still make, from clinging to false myths, repeating monotonous techniques, to feeling guilt or shame over something inherently natural. These missteps don't just diminish pleasure. They negatively impact health and confidence in personal life. It's time to reassess, not to find fault, but to learn how to love and care for ourselves better in this significant stage of life. If you're seeking connection, satisfaction, and a fuller sense of living, let's explore these mistakes and how to overcome them. This isn't just a journey of pleasure. It's a journey of healing and renewal. Mistake 1. Believing in the semen retention myth. The illusion of power may be quietly harming older men's health. Throughout their journey to maturity, men are often taught to be strong, self-controlled, and to suppress desires, as if this were a measure of manhood. By age 60, many still carry these antiquated beliefs, one of which is the semen retention myth. The idea that refraining from ejaculation preserves strength, energy, and even boosts testosterone, clarity, and longevity. It sounds logical, like mastering one's physical urges is the pinnacle of mental and bodily discipline. But when modern science and medicine weigh in, the reality is quite different. The semen retention myth traces back to ancient schools of thought, Eastern philosophies, or religious and spiritual movements that promoted abstinence as a path to self-cultivation. Recently, it's been revived on social media and forums with alluring promises that men can level up by completely avoiding ejaculation for extended periods. For many over 60, this belief offers a chance to rejuvenate themselves, especially when facing physical changes, concerns about performance, or waning desire. Unfortunately, much of this narrative lacks scientific backing and can lead to unintended consequences if misapplied. The reality is, a man's body is designed to function harmoniously, including the production and release of semen. Deliberately holding back ejaculation for long stretches doesn't make you stronger. It can lead to pelvic congestion, discomfort, mood disturbances, poorer sleep quality, and potentially heightened prostate risks. In other words, excessive restraint can cause physical and emotional imbalance, particularly dangerous for older men, whose bodies no longer recover as quickly as they once did. Medical studies even suggest that regular, healthy ejaculation can regulate hormones, reduce stress, improve sleep, and support prostate function. This isn't an endorsement of excess, but a recognition of the body's natural rhythms. Semen retention, when practiced briefly or for meditative purposes, may offer some benefits. But as a prolonged lifestyle unsuited to one's health, it becomes a form of self-imposed strain masquerading as self-improvement. The issue isn't whether you should ejaculate, it's whether you're honestly listening to your body. When your body craves release, suppression only bottles up emotions, leading to irritability, fatigue, or a disconnection from your natural self. That lingering, unsatisfied feeling can become a constant state, turning sexual experiences, even solo ones, into something arid, emotionless, and alien. On the flip side, many men get caught up in the notion that controlling desire is the ultimate expression of masculinity. Yet true strength isn't about how long you can abstain. It's about having the wisdom and self-respect to care for your body properly and healthily. Like stretching after exercise or breathing deeply during stress, masturbation in old age should be seen as an act of self-care, emotional regulation, and vitality. Instead of blindly hoarding, learn to understand, act wisely, and feel fully. See masturbation not as indulgence, but as an essential part of overall health care. When done mindfully, gently, slowly, and suited to your current health, it can become a ritual of energy renewal, stress relief, and self-connection. Old age isn't the end of sexuality. It's a chance to live slower, feel deeper, and care for yourself smarter. The first step is letting go of the semen retention myth, making room for a mindful, scientific, and self-loving way of living. Mistake 2. Using the same technique and grip every time, when familiar habits become barriers to pleasure ***. For many men over 60, masturbation is a decades-long companion. A deeply personal act that can become so routine it's almost automatic. It's understandable. Over time, we find safety in habits, the same position, the same touch, the same rhythm, like a formula guaranteeing results. But that very familiarity can quietly box in pleasure, limiting the body and emotions, making them rigid and stripping away their natural vibrancy. The big mistake many make, especially in old age, is sticking to the same technique, grip, and pace every time. For years, this might have delivered quick, easy results, particularly in youth when masturbation often happened in rushed, secretive, or forbidden contexts. But in a different life stage, with a changed body and more nuanced emotions, clinging to an old formula for a new self no longer fits, and can even backfire. The human body, especially its sensory nervous system, adapts and grows bored with repetitive stimuli. Using the same stimulation style for years can train your nerves to recognize pleasure only in that specific way, leading to reduced sensitivity, difficulty reaching orgasm, or disconnection during real intimacy with a partner. Some men start worrying about declining virility or potency, but the real culprit might just be that the body's too used to the routine and craving a refresh. Many fall into a post-masturbation slump, feeling empty, unfulfilled, as if they've just completed a mechanical task rather than savored a living experience. It's not because they've weakened, it's because the unchanging repetition has turned pleasure into a reflex rather than the rich emotional journey it could be. The solution isn't complicated. You don't need to abandon old habits, just expand and renew them, turning them into a fuller experience. Try small but impactful changes. Switch hands, adjust grip strength, lighter or firmer. Vary speed and rhythm, experiment with circular motions instead of linear ones, or simply close your eyes and focus entirely on sensation. You could even explore combining other sensitive areas, lower abdomen, inner thighs, neck, chest, to broaden your body's sensory map. This variety doesn't just wake the body from monotonous repetition. It brings your mind more fully into each moment. When you stop acting on autopilot and approach masturbation as an act of enjoyment, discovery, and connection, every touch becomes a renewal, like meeting yourself again in an older, wiser, more refined version. Like muscles needing varied exercises to grow, your sensory system needs renewal to stay sharp. More importantly, allowing yourself to explore new touches and sensations is an act of love and respect for your body, not just a means to an end. It fosters agency, positive control, and sometimes rekindles emotions you thought were long gone. Masturbation, if trapped in an outdated routine, becomes bland and lifeless. But when refreshed with curiosity and a desire to connect with your present self, it transforms into a ritual of energy renewal, a healing space, and a thread tying you to your truest self. You don't need to do anything drastic. Start with observation. What does your body need? Could you touch yourself more gently, more slowly, or shift an angle, a posture, or even pause and simply feel without rushing? Each small shift brings a big reward. The revival of authentic pleasure. Deep, present, and connected. Age doesn't erase pleasure, only rigid thinking and habits dim it. You can reclaim that full joy, starting with your own hands and awareness. Mistake 3. Rushing and lacking connection. When masturbation becomes a reflex, not an experience ***. In younger years, men's masturbation often came with haste, perhaps from fear of being caught, strict environments, or the sheer intensity of youthful hormones turning pleasure into a race for speed and results. What's striking is that many carry this habit into old age, even when circumstances, bodies, and true needs have changed. Masturbation no longer needs to be rushed, yet they rush anyway, not for lack of time, but from a learned disconnection. This habit seems harmless but is a deep reason why many men over 60 feel unsatisfied. When you operate like a machine, repeating motions just to get it done, the body doesn't get to feel fully, the mind can't sync with emotions, and the whole experience becomes hollow and disjointed. Rushing turns pleasure into a chore instead of a moment of self-love and connection. Masturbation, without the mind's presence, easily becomes a reflex. Fast, forceful, finished. But true pleasure, the kind that makes you feel alive, relieved, loved, can't bloom in haste. It needs time, listening, deep breaths, and an open mindset. Rushing skips the precious details. The feel of skin brushing lightly, the slowing heartbeat with a deep breath, the awakening of the whole body, not just one spot. When you rush, you stop noticing what you're doing, and that's what makes the experience fade. You finish without feeling connected. You're physically relieved but emotionally empty. Afterward, there might be faint disappointment, vague guilt, or a sense of missing something vital you can't name. The solution, as usual, doesn't come from force or fancy techniques. It starts with slowing down. Yes, just slowing down. Instead of treating masturbation as a need to resolve, see it as a date with yourself. Set the scene. Turn off the phone. Play soft music. Dim the lights. Rather than jumping in, lie back. Breathe deeply. Touch your body without purpose. Just to feel. You're here and you deserve that gentle care. One beauty of slowing down is rediscovering sensations you'd overlooked. Your body isn't a pleasure factory. It's a multi-layered symphony, and each touch is a note to hear. As you breathe slowly, move slowly, your mind merges with your body. Pleasure deepens, not just a genital twitch, but a wave spreading outward, from flesh to feeling. And remember, orgasm isn't the sole goal. What you truly need might not be release, but the sensation of being touched, living in the moment, connecting without judgment. Dropping the pressure to peak lets you enjoy the journey's every step. Sometimes, the best part isn't the end, but how you touched yourself with tenderness and presence throughout. Slowing down doesn't mean lasting longer to prove something. It means deeper and truer. When you're fully in each sensation, each breath, even small things, the warmth of your hand, your beating heart, your skin trembling, become unexpected wells of pleasure. You don't need external thrills. The joy's already within you. Old age is the perfect time to rediscover slowness as a living art, and masturbation is no exception. Let go of haste. Let pleasure return to its essence. A gentle, connected, healing journey from within. Mistake 4. Ignoring the rest of the body when pleasure shrinks to just one spot ***. When it comes to masturbation, most men, especially those set in habits from youth, assume pleasure lives in one place, the genitals. Every motion, emotion, and focus zeroes in there. For years, this might have worked fine. But at some point, often past 60, the body starts speaking differently. If you still believe only one spot delivers pleasure, you're missing a rich world of sensation your body already holds. This mistake isn't laziness. It's a limit in awareness. Growing up, we're rarely taught to understand the body holistically. No one tells us the back can be sensual, that the chest, lower belly, neck, inner thighs, or perineum can awaken deep, subtle pleasure. We're raised seeing masturbation as quick, secret, and confined to one area, and over time that becomes a rut we don't even notice. Yet a man's body, even past youth, is a vibrant network of millions of sensory nerve endings. It still responds to a soft touch, a warm breath, a gentle stroke across the stomach or wrist. The truth is, your body hasn't lost its capacity for pleasure. You just haven't reactivated it after years of neglect. Imagine eating the same dish your whole life. No matter how good, you'd tire of it. Sensation works the same way. Stimulating one spot for decades dulls the nervous system's response, flattening emotions into monotony. The magic is, expand your range, shift your focus, and your body wakes up again. You don't need anything elaborate. Start by exploring other areas, not to climax, but to listen. Try touching your chest, stroking your lower belly, gently massaging your inner thighs, or resting a hand on your neck or nape to feel your pulse. The perineum, the oft-ignored spot between anus and scrotum, is a sensory hub that, when touched right, deepens pleasure profoundly. It doesn't have to feel strange or artsy. The key is letting yourself feel the whole body, not just one part on duty. True connection comes when your entire self joins the experience, not just a single worker. Plus, broadening touch breaks the boredom of old routines, boosts sensitivity, and enriches emotions. You'll be amazed how a light shoulder touch, a belly stroke, or a palm on your chest, done with presence and care, can stir feelings you thought were long lost. Beyond that, engaging the whole body heals deeply. Touching yourself, not to finish a need, but to connect and love, sends a message. I see you. I value you. I'm here with you. Your body responds, not just with pleasure, but with ease, relief, confidence, and peace. Old age isn't desire's end. It's a phase to approach pleasure anew. Gentler, deeper, fuller. Expanding your sensory map doesn't just improve sex. It enriches your bond with your body. That's the foundation for living joyfully, healthily, connected at any age. Mistake 5. Skipping lubrication. When physical dryness mirrors mental rigidity ***. Here's an odd thing. Despite the body changing vastly over time, many older men still masturbate without any aid, especially lubrication. The reasons might be simple, they've always done it that way. Or deeper down, it's an unspoken belief. Needing lube signals weakness, an unnecessary extra. But in truth, rejecting lubrication doesn't just lessen pleasure. It robs you of a key piece of self-care. Past 60, the body shifts in ways we can't and shouldn't deny. Skin dries out, hormones fluctuate, blood flow slows, nerve sensitivity may dip. These are natural, not signs of decline, just a new life cycle. And because of that, how you care for it needs tweaking too. Masturbating without lube at this age is like hiking with unpadded shoes. You can manage, but it's rough, awkward, and lacks needed comfort. The body reacts with mild chafing, excess friction, even micro-tears in sensitive skin. Over time, this can dull sensitivity, cause irritation, or leave lingering discomfort, all dragging down your experience. Conversely, a quality lubricant, especially safe water or silicone-based ones, can transform everything. Beyond smoothing surfaces, it cuts friction, boosts comfort, and lets you move gently and freely, especially if joints, arthritis, or hand dexterity pose challenges. Using lube isn't dependence. It's a smart, proactive kindness to yourself. Like wearing reading glasses, using a neck pillow, or choosing cushioned shoes, it's just sensible support for your body's natural evolution. More than that, lube can reawaken subtle sensations long dormant. Less friction makes skin more responsive to every touch. You'll notice the difference, from soothing ease to deeper, longer-lasting tremors. It can even mimic the closeness of real intimacy, especially if you're without a partner. Many say only after trying lube in old age did they realize how much they'd endured needless roughness for years. It didn't just boost pleasure, it shifted their self-view. From seeing the body as fading, they began treating it as a living entity needing care and love through small, meaningful acts. It's a pity if habit or pride makes you miss one of the simplest, most effective tools for comfort, prolonged pleasure, and reconnection. No one judges you for needing lube. In fact, it shows you're awake and value yourself enough to do what's best. Treat lubrication as part of a self-care ritual. Set the space, apply it gently, breathe deeply. Feel. You're not just touching skin. You're touching self-respect, tenderness, and understanding. It's a small step with big transformation for masturbation and sexuality overall. You don't have to endure roughness when there's a way to make it smooth, pleasant, memorable. Sometimes lube doesn't just soften skin. It softens the bond between you and your body. Mistake 6. Guilt and shame. When past shadows silence pleasure ***. Of all the mistakes older men carry into their private space, none is as quiet yet profound as the shame and guilt tied to masturbation. It's not loud or obvious, but it simmers like an undercurrent, weaving through every motion, thought, and unnamed feeling after each self-touch. Masturbation is a natural act, even medically recognized as a healthy part of sexual and mental well-being. So why do many men over 60 still feel they're doing something wrong? Why does a moment of relief come with a pang of unease or embarrassment, sometimes enough to want to erase it like it never happened? The answer isn't in the present, it's in memory, in how we were raised, taught, and shaped about sex from youth. In many homes, old-school education treated sex as taboo. Masturbation was labeled weak, deviant, even sick. Those negative messages, no longer true, still root silently in the subconscious. So even if logic says it's normal, the heart feels uneasy, ashamed. It's hard to fully enjoy something when your mind's tangled. Guilt doesn't just block pleasure. It builds an invisible wall between you and your body. Masturbation stops being connection and becomes a furtive compromise, something to get over with and quietly forget. Joy shrinks, turning a potentially healing act into something cold and lonely. What's needed isn't forcing the feeling away, but facing and hearing it honestly, gently. Ask yourself, where does this guilt come from? Who taught you caring for your needs is wrong? Is this belief truly yours, or just an unthinking hand-me-down from past generations? When you see shame isn't truth, just an echo of an outdated system, your heart lightens. Only then can you open the door to embrace pleasure as natural, reasonable, and vital. Masturbation isn't something to hide or regret. Done with presence, love, and no judgment, it becomes a mind-body ritual, easing stress, boosting self-awareness, improving sleep, nurturing confidence. Studies show older adults with regular masturbation often have stabler moods, less anxiety, and better life quality. Try approaching it with a fresh mindset, as self-care, like choosing a good meal, walking in nature, or reading a favorite book. Taking time to tend your body is a healthy, dignified way to live. Create space for yourself. Not just a quiet room, but inner calm where you're free, unjudged, fully you. You don't need to announce you accept masturbation. Just feel it in your heart, with peace after each time, with a bit more body love daily. That's true healing. Don't let the past, its lessons, stares, or loaded silences, control your present feelings. You're not that 16-year-old sneaking in the bedroom anymore. You're a grown man with wisdom, choice, and the power to live fully. You deserve to step into your private space with freedom, ease, and self-respect. Masturbation, unshackled from guilt and shame, stops being a habit. It becomes a rite of freedom, the sincerest act of love you can give yourself. Mistake 7. Ignoring tools for older adults. When pride blocks deeper comfort and pleasure ***. After years with a strong body accustomed to old ways, many men past 60 feel a mix of familiarity and estrangement. Their body's not quite what it was. Hands may slow, sensations dull, movements grow tricky, and pleasure, still there, feels harder to reach. Yet instead of listening and adapting, many stubbornly do it the old way, refusing tools from soft materials to smart designs or devices made for older men. They see it as weakness, or simply don't know these tools aren't replacements, but companions on the journey of self-care and enjoyment. Society drills in self-reliance, that men must be tough, unassisted. It's ironic. The same man who wears glasses to read or padded shoes for his knees balks at a sexual aid, because it's tied to sex, still shrouded in stigma and silence. It's hard to discuss, even accept. But it's time to break that mold gently and lovingly. Today's sexual tools are crafted with finesse, tailored to the mature man's changing body. From soft silicone sleeves to perineum massagers or flexible handheld devices, they share one goal: helping you feel more, relax more, connect more deeply. Using tools doesn't make you less manly. It shows maturity, body awareness, and smart self-care. It's agency, not dependence. It's a way to extend your experience, heighten sensitivity, and explore sensations you'd never noticed before. Many wary men, after trying AIDS, completely rethink their stance. They're stunned to enjoy deeper, richer, longer sensations without strain or forcing an unfit old way. They feel at ease, less hand tension, in control of pleasure, and above all, worthy of it. Picture this. You enter a calm space, prepped just right, soft light, favorite music, and beside you, a tool designed for your age, taste, and body. No rush.
No struggle.
Just breathe, feel, and let gentle support in. Pleasure shifts from a race to a slow, deep, honoring journey. Change your lens. These aren't adult toys, but part of a mature man's self-care ecosystem. Like picking the right pillow or food for digestion, sexual aids just make your body feel better on its pleasure path. Drop the bias. Push past hesitation. You don't need tools. You choose them to love yourself more, live fuller. Embrace pleasure as a rightful, natural, beautiful part of being a grown man. Mindset shift: the power of conscious self-care in old age. Past 60, many men feel their sexual life winding down. The body changes, desire shifts, and once familiar experiences grow distant, elusive. But the key isn't the change, it's how you see and meet it. Pleasure, connection, intimacy don't vanish with time. They just need a new approach, rooted in understanding, gentleness, and awareness. The key to rediscovering satisfaction isn't rewinding the clock, but transforming your mindset. From viewing masturbation as a habit or rushed act, start seeing it as a self-care ritual, a deep bond between body and spirit. Instead of chasing orgasm like in youth, it's a space for listening. How do I feel? What does my body need? What truly comforts me? This shift means shedding old biases. That sexuality is for the young, that tools signal weakness, that desire in old age is odd or wrong. Instead, it's time to see pleasure as ageless, and yourself as worthy of full, healthy emotions, no matter your years. Changing techniques, slowing down, exploring your whole body, and using aids are practical steps. But what turns them into true healing is the mindset you bring. When you approach your body with love, when masturbation shifts from need to self-respect, pleasure becomes more than physical. It's a deeply human, emotional connection. You don't need to reclaim back then to feel alive. That vitality can start today, just by shifting your view. From control to understanding, habit to ritual, silence to freedom. You don't just recover pleasure. You rediscover your deepest, truest self. Old age isn't sexuality's end. It's a new chapter of awareness, refinement, and emotional depth. After a long journey of highs and lows, your body enters a phase needing care and honor in a new way. Not conquest or endurance, but presence, connection, and self-love. For years, many men have endured fatigue, bottled emotions, shallow pleasure. That endurance isn't needed anymore. Now, you can choose a softer, more mindful path, where private moments restore energy, tune into your body, and reconnect you to yourself. Recognizing and adjusting common mistakes. Semen retention myths, repetitive techniques, rushing, fixating on one spot, skipping lube, carrying shame, ignoring aids, goes beyond better sex. It's a journey to reclaim body ownership, rebuild self-worth, and reignite a vitality you thought had faded. The beauty is, you don't need to be someone else, get young, or compare. Just be the man you are now, with more understanding, acceptance, and self-love. When you confidently tend your sexual life as part of overall health, you don't just feel better, you live truer, deeper, fuller. Perhaps the loveliest thing about old age is the chance to choose again, how to live, feel, connect. You can turn solo moments into healing spaces, a rebirth of manhood, not through toughness, but through wisdom and self-compassion. Old age isn't loss. It's a chance to live slower, truer, with deeper self-respect than ever. And it starts with how you touch yourself. Not just with hands, but with heart.